Hi, everyone. I'm here with Kelsey Chia from Blissful Wealth. I'm so delighted. She is herself a well of wisdom, of wealth, of all kinds of riches and stories and experiences that I think is gonna benefit so many of us, myself included. She is gonna talk about how to discover your abundance mindset to support your soul purpose and soul mission. And as my friend Cole Whitty says, there's nothing woke about being broke. And so many of us, have hangups. We're not really sure how to bridge the spiritual missions, transformative visions we have, and bridge that with wealth and money and our many of our negative experiences that we've had with money, including greed, including poverty, including so much poor role modeling, and it's hard to navigate all of that. So Kelsey has lots to say, lots of experience herself in all these different realms. So I'm just gonna hand the mic over to her to share a little bit about her story, where she's coming from, and all the different things she's seen on this journey.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lorraine, for inviting me here to give this training. So I'm really fortunate to be here. So a little bit about myself. I grew up with a lot of money problems. So I am a mindset and money coach right now. And the reason why I am doing this, what I'm doing is because of all the background, the history that I have with money, and also in my pursuit to find happiness. Like, because when I was younger, I thought that money can really help me solve all the problems. So growing up, like one of the biggest thing was that my parents kept quarreling about money. And then I would always hate whenever they quarrel, and I know that like they're always quarreling about money. So like I made a promise to myself that I will never ever be poor again. Like I want to be rich. I want to have a lot of money. I want to be able to afford whatever I want. I don't want to have these quarrels, happening in my family again. And I want to be able to support my parents and to not have them like quarrel and be miserable all the time. So I think that was my mission, or like what I think I want, growing up. So like when I was growing up, I decided that I want to make a lot of money and I want to just be rich. And then, so in pursuit of that, like I challenged a lot of my own beliefs about what I can do and what I can't do. So for example, like when I was younger, I was bad at math. But then in my pursuit of wanting to get rich, right, I was like, I gotta know how to like do math. I gotta be good at this. So and then I basically overcome a lot of my thoughts about myself, about not being good enough, and challenged a lot of my own beliefs of what I need to know to get into Wall Street. So that was a dream that I never thought I could. But in my pursuit of wanting to be rich, right, I managed to overcome all these like struggles about myself. So first of all, I was bad at math. Second of all, like my professor told me that my personality doesn't fit the culture there. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna challenge that. Of course I'm gonna get there. And then like, so I really pushed myself to be a lot more outgoing, extroverted, and to try to learn the skills of how to, be loud and be heard and be seen and be visible. So like I did all that and I managed, and I was lucky enough to get a job there. So like, first of all, like I learned how to overcome my own, thoughts about like, I am not good enough to deserve to go there, to be there for that job. But I managed to overcome it and I was there. So then I started to make more money. And then I realized the quarrels didn't really stop. And I was the one starting the quarrel. So what happened was that, so in my second year of college, like my dad got sick, and therefore like he stopped work. He had to stop work. And then like our family, we were just like, surviving on savings. And my mom told me that, right the moment you graduate, you have to support our family. So I just had this burden. Like, I'm not complaining. I just know that, I need to support my family. And it's like a subconscious kind of burden in my head. Like, I have to, really grow up and really, take care of my family. And I have a younger sister too, who's still in school. And so that what happened was, like, immediately when I get my first job, I didn't get the prestigious finance job immediately, because I doubted myself a lot. So that was like later, my second year after college. My first year out of college, I was in a startup, and I was making about like 3K for a month, and the insurance cost for my family was huge. And I was like, I can never ever get out of this. So, like, even though I was making money and supporting my family, like, I started to quarrel with my parents, because I was like, no, you cannot spend on this, you cannot spend on that. Like, I was managing my parents' spending, because I was very afraid that, like, I would lose everything, or like, all this hard work goes to nothing. But then when I start focusing on that, like how much I don't have, I realized that I forgot that I didn't focus on what I have, right? Like, I truly have the ability to create anything I want. Like, all I need to know is to dream, and then have the skills to get there. So, like, a lot of my transformation to get to Wall Street was when I started to realize that, why am I limiting myself to the job that I have now, right? I mean, that was the job out of school. Like, back then, out of school, like, I just applied, and I was just so happy that I could find my first job, right? And I could start making money. And then I was like, why did I not believe that I can get a job on Wall Street? Yeah, my professor told me that I couldn't, but why do I have to believe him, right? And then, like, yes, like, maybe I don't have the personality. Can I not learn the skills to be there? Can I not truly, like, work hard? Can I not do that? So, like, when I really started to see the potential in myself, right, I started to take the actions with the belief that, of course I can be there. Of course I can, right? And of course, like, no one believed me. All I need to was to just believe in myself. Like, believe in myself is so cliche. It's such a cliche advice that everyone says, but to truly believe in yourself is another thing altogether, because you need to know how to have your own back, even though the circumstance and everything you try is going against you, right? You can continuously meet obstacles after obstacles, but you need to have the faith and the belief that, what you are on the right path. So that was basically what I did. So right out of school, although I was making money, it wasn't enough, like, to cover my entire family expenses. And I was very worried that, if I were to continue this pace, I will never be able to really retire or to afford a good life for my family, which also I really truly wanted. So then I stopped quarreling with my parents. So I'm like, I'm gonna stop really thinking about what I don't have and trying to save as much as I want from this small amount of money that I have. But I want to divert my energy and my focus to building skills and looking at my potential and see, like, what can I do more, right? And that was when I focused on that, like, I could overcome my own beliefs about myself. And that was how I got a job on Wall Street that helped me got a higher pay, right? And then help support my family better. And then I was at a place where it's slightly better now. Like, I could afford all the expenses, the insurance, bills and stuff a lot better. And then again, I was like, there's something missing. Like, there's some part of me that's missing. I don't feel fulfilled. I thought I'll be a lot happier. Of course I am. Like, I'm able to afford I'm also able to, have a family trip together as a family. That was something that we never did. And I was very glad that I could able to do that. But after that trip, like everything else is back to the same, right? It's still back to the same. Like you are still you. Like I am still me. I'm still working at a job. Like nothing intrinsically changed within me. So that's also when I realized that, like your circumstance, like you can have more money, but the way you think and view about your life really depends on your mindset and your thinking. So yeah, so like I think that led me to a lot of soul searching, trying to find myself, who I am. And I realized that, especially in the last few years, I hated a part of me, which is the more, I just made a post that I hate that part of me that's more empathetic, sensitive, nurturing side of me, because I wanted to just, go into Wall Street. So like, I hated that part because like, that's not the traits that you see, right, in banks. And I realized that I have those qualities, and those qualities are amazing. Like you need this quality. You need a compassionate leader. Like you need people who are humanistic. You need people who are compassionate. You need people who thinks about other people in leadership roles, right? Because when they are compassionate, they don't just think of things in terms of just profits, right? You can then maximize for profits, people, and the environment, and all encompassing things. Right. So it's this whole like enlightened consciousness of the humanity or whatsoever, right? But I realized that like, yeah, like the trait I hated for so long is probably what is needed right now, like in society, in the world, right? Like especially when we talk about here, all of you guys, you have this sole purpose. You want to really, make this world a better place. That was what I wanted. That's why I felt like even though I have the money, I felt something was missing. Like something was missing. Like I'm not fulfilling a part of me that's a purpose or meaning. Yeah. Also, I was trying to find meaning in life. And that's how I led to really be doing what I'm doing now, like being a mindset and money coach, like to really help my clients be aware of how the mindset can really keep them stuck, right? Can keep them not wanting to, like when you're focusing so much on like what you don't have, what you're lacking in, like you don't actually spend the time to look at what can you possibly grow into. Like that is time, and the time invested in spending time looking at your lack is not time spent looking at what you have and what you can possibly, grow. So yeah, and my most recent episode with money was like last year. It was just quite turbulent. Like my boyfriend and I, we had to move to another state cross country, and on the first day of January, like our car got smashed. So then we had to repair the car, and shortly after I got into an accident. And I was so glad that, like, I mean, I'm not injured, but I had a ton of hospital bills and insurance bills again. And at a point in time, I was like, oh, like I felt like the fears that I had back when I was, just started out work and had to pay for all the bills, like came back to me. Like it was just like instinctively came back to me. I felt like I almost like lost everything, even though like I have some savings. Like I have learned to save and I've learned to manage my money better. Like that still came back to me. That is when you have to be aware, like all these trauma, all these, experiences that you have, like it's all ingrained in you, and you have to be conscious of looking at those reactions to things. So like it came back to me and I was feeling really scared, and like as if like I'm gonna lose everything again. And then after that, like we hired movers to move, But then like the movers didn't come, so we had to scramble last minute to find a warehouse for our stuff. And then eventually what we realized was that our movers were scammed, so we lost everything. So like all it's just like compound like months after month, like all these like incidents, negative incidents happen all at once, and I just felt like everything was taken away from me. And I was feeling like very, very scared. Like, why is all this happening again? As I am moving to really helping more others like understand like the mindset and like money, how they can really be truly happy and wealthy at the same time. Like all this stuff is happening to me, but I think it happened for a reason, because it happened to remind me that, look, I forgot to just focus on just myself, right? Like I was looking at what I was losing, and I was feeling a lot of fear, which was what I felt before, right? And all I need to was to refocus on myself and like, what can I create today, right? Because all the physical things that you lose can be earned back. Like, why do you tie all this worth and your memories to all the physical things? Like, if those, the new sofa, whatever, you can just buy a new one. You can just buy an even better one, right? And memories is all with you. Like, you just have to know that each and every single day, you have to create the best memories you can in that day. Then keep it, because at the end of the day, at the end of your life, like all these material things will not be there, right? All you keep is memories of who you are and the memories of you and your friends, the experiences that you will have. So like that when I lost everything, it really helped ground me to really look into myself again. What can I do? What can I do today? What can I create today? Right? What skills can I gain today to move ahead and to create a better life for myself, and then for my career and for my clients. So yeah, that's the short snippet of my story.
I'm just so impressed, and I totally see how this story, your life story, is about discovering your own abundance mindset. And really, what is that? Because there, in the windy road and all the places that you've traveled, you've been, I think the life experience and the testing also that just mysteriously happened, helped to tweak you and helped you to pivot and question each and at each and every turn, like, that is not maybe what I thought abundance and wealth and the money mindset, is all about. Because it started with poverty, as you said, in the experience, your early experiences, and thinking, okay, I want to now be rich. That is going to solve all the problems. And from the way we're working, if that is not really healed, or the soul like really retrieved and healed, what can happen is this overcompensation, right? Where you kind of do the opposite, and now you reach the opposite, you succeed there, but and that required also actually an abundance mindset, maybe a little bit distorted, but it definitely is part of the path and the journey. It got you there, but you started to see, whoa, this other half of me is not healed, and this that's the poverty, and this other part of me, the sensitivity, is also cut off. So even though the money is there, there's still something missing and not totally feeling whole and right. And it's almost like the universe, sometimes I see my clients do this and say, I'm doing something wrong with my abundance meditations or mindset because this negative thing happened, right? I got sick, I got in an accident, I lost the money. Rather than actually, when I practice gratitude, what gratitude stands for to me is a greatly receptive attitude. So if we kind of look at the universe or life that way, where there's not like right and wrong and bad and good, but a question like, why is this happening? And trusting the universe that it's trying to give you another life experience to make you even richer regardless of the money and the dollars in your
Yeah.
bank account, then you're like, oh, what am I to learn here to become even more whole, more fuller, more integrated, and then bring that same fierceness that was there, like I can do this. And that all together, I think, is the abundance mindset. Am I getting it
It
right?
is. Yeah, it is. It is really to have the ability to see all the even the negative things that are happening to you, like they can be opportunities for growth. I think that's just what it is. Like to know that no, you are the one that you can make the most out of this situation. It's really up to you, your creativity, your ingenuity to figure out a way on how to do that.
Absolutely. I also love this other connection that you just made, uh, and how you keep growing. But once you're there at a certain plateau, you're like, okay, I'm here. Okay, it's great, but there's more, right? There's something still missing. So when you got to Wall Street, or we're doing pretty well financially, this whole idea of like, okay, I'm still not fulfilled. I need meaning. I want to make changes, and help, and have impact. And here we're seeing it doesn't really matter where you are and how much money you lost or gained. You are having impact. That is for sure, just with your story and who you are. But of course, once that is healed and integrated, having more money, more resources, of course, can help with
Yeah,
funding, more outreach, more visibility, more
yeah,
of that. So here's where I see a lot of my clients, maybe because of all the jadedness in this grind capitalistic culture, and Wall Street is, I'm sure, pretty extreme. I don't have that experience, but a lot of people are encountered that just all around, and so they have a lot of negativity. They're afraid of becoming that, and I think it creates a hurdle, where they're not going through what you went through, where you're just going for it, and then use that to, like, as a
yeah.
sounding or as a offshoot, like jumping board to go
Mhm.
somewhere else. So they kind of block themselves there. So I'm curious what, mindset tips, or how you coach your clients, how to help people with that particular block. And I call it a little bit of a money laundering skills to learn how to, get this money coming in, and trust that once you have it in your stewardship, that you can manage it totally differently. Don't have to become that, and can go in a new direction with it. So wondering
Yeah,
what you've encountered with your clients, if any of them,
yeah,
encounter that same
yeah,
hang up, and what your thoughts are on that.
yeah. So first of all, money is just a piece of paper, right? It's a neutral thing. This money is just a concept that's created in the past to allow exchange of goods and services. That's it, right?
Mhm.
But we tie a lot of connotations to it,
Mm.
right? It's the thoughts that we have about what money is. Money really is just to facilitate exchange of goods and services.
I love
But
I love how you laundered that money. That's what money laundering. Just clear all the, right, the
yeah,
stories associated with it.
no stories. Yeah, it's just
Make,
fact. It's
make it
just
your
really,
make it your own. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. So it's just the stories you tie to it, right?
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
here's what's happening. It's likely that when you think that rich people are evil or they're greedy, right? So first of all, it's the person that makes the money that they're holding evil. So like if a person is greedy, is nasty, the person is willing, the person has a philosophy that no, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make more money. Like even if I were to kill, like even if I were to steal, like I'm willing to do that. And of course, right? Like the person used all that means to get all the money, and then he is just who he is. But the money doesn't make him evil.
Mhm.
He
Mm.
doesn't think the right way, and he's just using all his means to get the money. The
Mm.
money is really just a neutral
Mm.
tool to facilitate exchange of goods and services in the world.
Yeah.
You are someone who is like, who is peace giving, you are loving, you're compassionate, what would you do with the money? Like,
Mhm.
can you
I
imagine?
love that. I love how you also, like neutralize the money, but also showed how the money is almost like an extension, right? It's like almost an appendage of you as a person. So if you mean
Yeah,
evil and you want to evil, you're gonna use that money to use as a tool for more power, more influence to
yeah,
do whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether good or bad.
yeah,
So it's almost like amplifying your own
yeah.
energy. So that's
It
how I do it
is.
too. It's like once you have a structure and you're aligned and in integrity,
Yeah,
how wonderful to then have a way to amplify that. And
yeah,
unfortunately, we're seeing too much of that happening with people who are
yeah,
imbalanced doing that. So I believe it's our responsibility, those
yeah,
of us who are working very hard and know what's wrong with that, not just to sit on the sidelines, right, and complain about that, but we need to offshoot that. We need to
yeah,
use our resources and Kelsey's drive and believe in herself. I'm totally for that. It's true. Don't wait for others to believe in you. Believe in yourself. And also what I teach my clients a lot is don't over identify with emotions, with
yeah,
failure, with circumstance. It's
yeah,
just data, right?
yeah,
Identify, but don't over identify. It's nothing to do with you. The more
yeah,
you say it is me, I am this, right? The more you stay stuck
yeah,
in it, the more you're like,
yeah,
it happened to me. How did it happen to me? How do I make it not happen to me? You are agile and then
yeah,
can move and move further in all these
yeah,
scary spaces. Often you
yeah,
even manage to survive in Wall Street, and she's still Kelsey there, right?
yeah.
So it's very inspiring to hear. And where were you born? Where did you where
Yeah.
your
So
origin?
I'm born in Singapore,
Mhm.
and I'm now currently living in Connecticut.
Yeah, so here a little girl, right, from Singapore,
Mm.
teacher telling you you're not good at math, that you can never, like, what crazy little girl from Singapore thinks she can work in Wall Street, right? And you busted those beliefs.
Yeah,
And then the whole dynamic, of course, too, in the terms of the authority, a lot of men
yeah,
saying what can happen and where you can
yeah,
be, and for you to just like, no, I'm gonna go there. And maybe it's a little different if you're born here, the
mm,
aspiration to go there, there's so much negativity
mm,
associated with for
yeah,
I think spiritual people, they're like, no, I would never aspire to go there, I don't want to go there. But maybe whether it's Wall Street or high around the upper levels of prosperity, I think for us to just go see for ourselves what it
yeah,
is there and know
yeah,
that we can stay ourselves and from the inside
yeah,
out shape
yeah,
things in a new direction, I
yeah,
think is what's needed.
yeah. It is so needed. Like I think like you have to erase the misconception that like money is evil or like rich people are evil, right? You need to be the example that you can have a lot of money and still be a great and amazing, loving, compassionate person, right?
Mhm.
And when you have more of these examples in the world, you inspire more of the younger generation to aspire to be like you, right?
Mhm.
So you have to take the lead to be there.
Mhm.
And here's the thing, again, like it is not about being so there is a misconception that you have to, cheat. You have to cheat someone in order to gain money from the other
Mhm.
person. That's why you think that like, oh, like it's evil. I don't want money because I have to cheat. I have to like lie. I have to scam. But
Mhm.
that is not true, right? Because have you ever spent things that you truly want and desire? Like,
Mhm.
have you ever feel like you want to buy things because it just makes you feel so happy,
Mhm.
right? I'm sure you have, right? And so it's really not about. So you have to recognize that like the money just facilitates the exchange, and the exchange can be a beautiful one. Like you need to let go of the belief that exchange is always a horrible one
Mhm.
because of probably some of the experiences that you have had before, like maybe you were scammed before, maybe like your parents or whatever, like all the stories that you have had before maybe have led you to believe that each and every single exchange, whenever there's money exchange, is bad, is evil, right? But you need to think of counter evidence whenever you find you have this kind of beliefs. Like, is it necessarily true, right? Like, there are people who are willing to spend things like happily, and it's a joyful exchange, right? I'm sure like there are so many times like your clients, like when you like hire Lorraine as your coach, right? As to learn from her, like you love that exchange, right? And money is being exchanged, right? So there's nothing evil about that, right? You benefited from it, and Lorraine also benefited from it financially, right? Same with my clients too. Like I benefit from a financial thing, and then I'm also providing a service that my clients value. So it can be a really valuable exchange. And you have to know that, when more of us, people who are good, well-hearted, and like wants to change the world for the better, like just wants to spread love and joy, right? When more of us are in control of more money, right? We can really direct it to causes that are truly that can amplify that effect, right? Let's say you want to my childhood dream was to build a school for underprivileged kids, as I recognize that one of the reasons why, even though I was struggling poor, but I had a chance to go to school, and that's why like I was able to break out of the poverty cycle, right? So I recognize that, and that was one of my goals as well, to be able to do that, to provide to that cause. And I realized that if I don't have money, I cannot do that, right? But if you have money, yeah, you can build it. You can build it and really just donate the money away for that good. So money really just facilitate more impact in the world. And when you are a good steward of money, like you can create even more impact when money comes to your hand versus if money goes to the hand of others. So I don't want you to just want money. I want you to want more money, really desire that money, because you trust yourself that you are a good steward of money and you can create more joy, more love, more peace in the world.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that what you talked about intuition. It reminds me of our conversation we had yesterday, and the latest experience and crisis you bumped out of. Did you mention also how, I know you talked about the health issues and the accidents, and did you talk about also, I think we got a little derailed, about you losing all the stuff after moving?
Oh yeah. So I lost all the stuff after moving.
I don't think we talked about that. We talked about it, I think, yesterday, but I don't think today.
Yeah.
I'm blurring the 2 days, but I don't think we got to that, right? You literally did lose everything.
Yeah. I lost everything. Yeah, I lost like all my physical belongings, like everything.
Yeah, you were scammed by the movers. The movers scammed you, or something happened, right?
Yeah. So the movers. So like during my move, the movers were scammers. I only realized that that last 2 months. But basically, like all our furniture, all pieces of clothing that I have, like every single thing, like even like sentimental things, items, everything, I lost them. And of course, like I think initially I was tight. I was feeling sad that some of the sentimental things I can no longer get back. But at the end of the day, what I realized is that like I mean, if I were to pass away tomorrow, like at my deathbed, like all I have is just myself and my thoughts, right? So like that's just what I have, and that's what makes a beautiful life. Like it's just my thoughts. Like so that's why like it's so important to really choose and actively choose what thoughts we want to keep and what thoughts you don't want to keep. Like if some thoughts are unhelpful, this is what I tell my clients a lot. Like if they're unhelpful thoughts, just let them go, right? Because if it's stuck in your head, you cannot create new ones, and you cannot create beautiful ones. So, and really a lot of times it's our mindset, it's our thoughts that is keeping us stuck because we cannot get through the thought loop, the negative thought loop, like the way we talk to ourselves, the way we associate like our own identity with things. And sometimes it's really just our thoughts. Like even like when we talk about money, right? Like money is a neutral thing, but we tie stories into it. Right? Money is bad, money is evil, money is good. Like all these stories that we tie to it make something that is neutral seem so complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that made me smile is we talked about the same metaphor, the compass and the certainty in life, and how so many of us want that needle just to be glued and pointing to north, and all these stories, these stuck stories, that is the same idea. And it's not just a story that we pick up anywhere. We are bombarded with these stories, either to the media, advertisement, movies. But a lot of the most stuck stories, you probably have noticed this too, are the result of trauma. We try to overcompensate. And for example, if the story is poverty causes misery, or not no money causes fights, I'm going to have lots of money and no more fights. And that story, right? We go in that direction, that compass needle saying that's where you're going. Wall Street, more money, no more fights. And then you're there, you're like, wait a minute, there's still fights. So eventually the test, I think, in life are to loosen that needle and mystery, showing, no, you're going the wrong direction. True north is not stuck anywhere. So I wanted, also to share your story with my people, just to show how you really have arrived, I think, at this money mindset by actually discarding all the different stories, all the different things where you thought that true north was, and glued. And eventually, like you said, on your deathbed, it's like you really want to have a compass where it's all like sensitive and wiggly, and it's not stuck anywhere. And it's the scariest place because it puts all the responsibility, all the sole authority on you. Right? And nobody wants that. There's such huge like, I don't want to have all this wiggle room. I don't feel settled. I want to be set, and but that kind of grounding is not truly grounding. That is stuckness, right? It's hard to discern what is groundedness in just thoughts and feelings and just yourself, versus what is stuckness with somebody telling you do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. So you have a beautiful life, and as young as you are, you've gone through so much already. And I believe you're a testament to how you each and every time really use that compass and yourself to be very agile and responsive, and kept on adjusting that, regardless of what things look like, up and down, and rich and no rich, and money and no money, to keep going. Because I think a lot of my people, they get discouraged and they think, oh, I must be doing something wrong. It's all over the place, and all the results are like, you lost your stuff, like what's going on? Maybe I'm the wrong spot. And so to maybe give some words of reassurance that, how do you know? How did you know that you were not moving in the wrong direction, that you still trusted that compass needle to move where it was, making you move?
Yeah. I only know one thing, that I have this infinite potential in me that's undiscovered. And like, if I don't try and fail, I wouldn't know my limits. So here's the thing. I never used to believe that. Like, even just believe that I have that potential. I never used to believe that. And then I asked, so then what if I don't believe that I am the creator of my own reality? Right? So what's the worst that can happen if I were to believe that I am the creator of my reality? What do you think is the worst that can happen? What's the worst gonna happen? Nothing, right?
Nothing, right? You stay exactly where you're at.
Yeah, you stay. Yeah, precisely. You're just here, right? Yeah. But if you believe that the best outcome is all within your control, then you will just go do it, right? So like, when I ask myself that question, like, nothing bad can happen, because like, when I truly believe that the best is yet to come, and I truly believe in myself, like, and I try something, and I continue to go in that path, the worst that can happen is just I'm here. Like the worst that can happen is just I'm here. Like, can you see that there's no downside to believing in yourself fully and wholeheartedly? No
Yeah,
downside. That
right.
is the best bet. Yeah.
That is so true. And I, I'd say this is exactly what I say, what, I wrote about this morning, what prevents us from trusting this compass. And that is this exact thing where we are thinking some kind of feedback, a certain set
Yeah.
is failure, is bad, and it
Yeah.
reflects badly on us. While if you had a compass and this compass was showing you, you know, and helping you find the path to go, and you're now going somewhere else, and you're getting lost and scared and all of those feelings, those are not bad feelings, and it's not failure. It is just showing
Yeah.
you how to pivot with the compass towards
Yeah.
the direction that's going to make you feel safe and good, right? So we
Yeah.
need to, so when you're saying what's the worst thing that can happen, if you try this, I think for a lot of people, they're landing on feelings and things that they've been avoiding really hard, and
Mm.
associated with failure or low self-worth or
Mm.
self-loathing or
True. Yeah.
right, and they are avoiding
Yeah.
that like the plague.
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah.
requires the egolessness, the ego
It,
echo system, ego body alignment, ego
yeah.
alignment with something bigger than yourself
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
really ride that wave and
Yeah. It
not get
is.
stuck there.
Yeah, it is. I think I am really thankful. So I have been practicing Buddhism and I meditated for like more than 20 years. So
Mm,
I think this is really part of the reason why, like, I would say, like, in terms of my mindset, in terms of the way I think and the way I view things about myself, like, I never view that, no, I am not worthy.
mm,
Because, like, every single day when I meditate, like, the phrase itself, right, is just to remind myself that I am worthy, I am good,
mm.
I have this infinite potential within me.
Is that a phrase, a mantra you came up with, or is that your practice?
No, so I chant, so I practice with the SGI USA, so
Mm,
Suka Gakkai International USA. So the phrase that we chant is that in English, it's I devote to the mystic law of cause and effect
mm,
through sound. So the mystic law of cause and effect, it's basically what life is about, right? Life is just full of causes and effect,
mm,
right? Whatever cause that you make today, like whatever things that you do today, whatever thoughts that you have today,
mm,
whatever words that you say, all these are causes, right?
mm,
So if you think negative thoughts, right? If you constantly think that I'm not good enough, I'm bad, right? This is also similar to law of attraction, but
mm,
you are basically creating your own reality in a way, because like if you don't think you're good enough, you will not dare to try. If you don't dare to try, like you can't get what you want. If you can't get what you want, then you continue to think that you're not good enough.
mm.
So then you just
Yeah,
repeat the
yeah,
whole cycle again and again,
yeah, yeah.
right? So yeah, so like you have to break out of the cycle by thinking like I am good enough and find evidence to prove that you are good enough,
Mm,
right? That one little piece of evidence. Or you
mm,
can ask yourself, are you without a doubt,
mm,
right, know that you are not good? Like,
mhm,
can you for certain, right,
mhm,
100% be so certain that you are just a failure, right?
mhm,
And then when you ask yourself that, no, I'm not, of course. I have some things, right? You have some things that you're good, right? And then just pursue that thought, like, and then to find more evidence, find more little evidence in your life to show that things are working, right? Find this when you try this, like, let's say, like for me, like all these unexpected situations come, like a scam, and like I got an accident. All these I didn't ask for it. But then instead of thinking like, why is this happening to me? I choose to think, how can this be the best thing?
mm, mm,
So like I intentionally directed my thought to ask, how is this the best thing that's happening to me right now? And
mm.
that's how I come to the conclusion that it's really testing me to I came up with a story.
Yeah.
I decide my own story for the accident, right? I could spin in circle. Oh, why is this happening? I must be so unlucky. I'm just an unlucky person. But I choose to not think about it. And at the end of the day, no one knows that story except for you. Like you are your own judge. Like you are painting your own story. Like why paint it with such a negative lens, right? Like I love a happy story. So whatever bad things that's happening, like I want to make it good. And here it is not like toxic positivity. I think like a lot of people that talk about like toxic positivity, right? You just pretend that you're happy, right? It is not that, because I let myself really feel the pain, feel the hurt, and feel the I felt really scared because I felt like, but I felt really scared and I felt like I was going to lose everything, which I did. But then I also, because of my belief and my consistent through coaching, through all the tools I've learned over the years, I learned how to like really direct the way I think and approach situations, such that I know that like nothing can ever bring me down, like unless I want to, right? Which is not going to happen. So yeah, so like at the end of the day, like you are really creating this life together with the universe, and like you are in control of how the way you think, you're in control of the way you feel. Nothing can make you feel the way you want to feel. Like no one, like even if I got into an accident, I'm still in control of my feelings. Yeah,
Exactly. I love that. I love sort of the whole idea. It reminds me of what I have my students do from the get-go, and which is to practice equanimity with the tree, with holding all the opposites, light, dark, seen, unseen, good, bad, so on and so forth. Because it's the idea of trusting that compass completely, that there is a true north mysteriously out there. I mean, we're using the compass as a metaphor, but in real life, there is a North Pole. But when we're talking about a spiritual compass, there is no actual physical place, but there's a true north somewhere where it's pointing. And that true north is connected to our inner truth. And I love how you're, the whole idea of cause effect and testing how your own beliefs and what you're doing ends up in those results. That is similar to that whole compass. If you're not, if you're ignoring that compass and you keep on going left, 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 right, you're gonna end up going the wrong path, feel bad, and spin out of control. If you the same with right, there's no like good or bad. It's just feedback to help you find that balance and find the path of, I think it's ease. Like if we think of that it's a greater trust. It's not like you say, it's not even a toxic positivity, this is good, this is bad. It's just neutral information to get you back in balance. So the path is one of ease, right? Like of balance, and trusting that there's something out there that wants you to be healthy, just like the body naturally heals the scars, or it wants you to be healed, to be functioning optimally in every way possible. And like nature, I think can continue to become more complex and layered and beautiful and diverse. So I kind of see it like the goodness, like in that growth, in that in what you're learning from all of your experiences.
Yeah, totally. And I like to think that, so whenever it comes to healing, I never really prescribe to the thought that like I need to be healed. Like I like to prescribe to the thought that like I'm a warrior, I just have a scar. So the scar will heal by itself. Like I am still whole. I think like to have the fundamental belief that you are whole, right? Regardless of whatever that happens, right, to you, even unfortunate things that happen to you, you are whole, right? And you are whole. You just need like little things like the scar to heal a little bit here, but it's just a little bit, it's just tiny bit, like nothing. You are whole, okay?
Yes,
Like don't forget that. Yeah, like
yeah,
you are whole, and then you just have a little scar here, a little scar there. Like the accident came, and then like the movers came, and then group like a scam, and like all the negative stuff that happens in life to really build you to become a warrior that you already are. Like you're just collecting a few more battle scars here and there.
Yeah, it totally is in line with what I teach my students to be double-minded instead of double-minded, because they're like, I can't do this because then that would happen. And the double-minded idea is like you're in touch with your spiritual soul and wholeness at all times. Your physical body and traumas and things might still be bent up, but it's kind of like the bark on a tree. If the tree's not knocked over, inside, still functioning, and you're alive. So I'm like, as long as if you're alive and kicking, you're fine. We're working on the bark to get you mended up and make sure it's all sealed up, and you continue to do your good work. And the rings in the tree are holding the history, but the bark is not inside the tree. You got to make sure the bark and the scars are on the outside, right? And not But anyway, oh my gosh, I feel like we can talk forever. We've been talking for an hour probably already.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how can my students find you? And I know you have a beautiful IG account. I love looking at it. And she's so creative also with, the message info, sort of little informational graphics. So that's there. But where else can they find more information with coaching? Like, for example, if they know absolutely nothing about investing or saving, or they don't have a lot of money, Kelsey can also, has tips and ideas of where to even start, wherever you're at. So where can they find more about that and find for all your courses and stuff?
Yeah, so I am only on Instagram, Blissful Wealth, BLISSFUL and wealth. So my whole idea is to help my people like chase after financial freedom without losing joy, right? Be wealthy, joyful, and impactful at the same time. So like I'm there, like I would hold like master classes on intro to investing, on like money mindset stuff. I would talk a lot about mindset, because like mindset is really most of the time the thing that's keeping us stuck. Like what we talked about today, right? If you don't have the right mindset, a lot of times we might sabotage ourselves, right? Like we would, especially some of my clients say that they don't think they deserve to make more money. Like, I don't think I deserve to make more money. When you have that kind of thought, you will not actively chase for opportunities. You will not actively ask for the raise that you want, right? You will not actively think of what else you can do to make more money. And when you don't even think you deserve, like, you will be stuck.
Right.
Like, it is inevitable you'll be stuck, right? And then, but and the thing is, like what you said, like finding the true north. Like if you feel that there's something that you feel unsatisfied and compelled to do something, right? You have to understand like that inner like nudging in you, like is trying to tell you something. There's something deeper that you have to investigate. So I'm on that Blissful Wealth. I have master classes and I talk a lot about mindset, money mindset, and like I would provide some investing tips and how to manage money on my Instagram. So you can just DM me if you would like, and I will just be there.
Thank you so much. I got a little tickle. Maybe it's my voice saying, okay, that's enough for today. But thank you so much. I really appreciate all of that information. And I wish you all the best. I'm looking forward to seeing what else is on the horizon, and we will stay in touch.
Yeah, we will, definitely. Thank you, Lorraine.
You're welcome.
Thank you.